What's up, everybody? This is Russell Brunson. Welcome to the Marketing Secrets Podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about a hook, a story, and an offer. So the big question is this: how are entrepreneurs like us, who didn't cheat and take on venture capital, who are spending money from our own pockets, how do we market in a way that lets us get our products and our services and the things that we believe in out to the world and yet still remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Russell Brunson, and welcome to Marketing Secrets. All right, everybody. I hope that today has been amazing for you so far. Whenever you're listening to this, I want to share with you. It's a lot of years ago we launched the Fun Hacking Live event. We launched the 2 Comma Club X coaching program, and it's insanely good. It's amazing, but there's kind of the pros and the cons of it. The pros are it gives you everything you possibly need to start, launch, scale, grow your company. The bad thing is there's like so much stuff, it's like people get overwhelmed. So I wanted to go through and record a fast track, kind of goes through like a higher level, like fast track of all the courses in order, so that people kind of know where they're going. And so this week I recorded module number 2, fast track number 2, which was called a hook, a story, and an offer. And it went on for like 45 minutes, and I think it was pretty good. And then one of the guys in the group, he's probably listening to this right now, so by the way, thank you. He said that, he's like, I listen to everyone in Russell's podcast. I've been to 2 Funnel Hacking Live events. I've done like every course, every book. And he's like, that was the best training I've ever heard from Russell. And I was like, that's awesome. And I had like a 45-minute conversation with Dave Woodward and James Frill when we were lifting weights on Wednesday, talking about it as well. And unfortunately, I have to jump on a video here in like an hour, so I can't go too deep into this, but I did want to share some thoughts with you guys because I think it's super, super, super essential, and I wanted you guys to think through it for your stuff. So what I want to talk about is like, what's the hook and the story for what it is you're selling. Now, in the video that I did for our 2 Comma Club X members, it was like I was going into offer hacking, how to find people's offers and hack them, and all sorts of stuff like that. But one of the biggest things that we talked about and we noticed is like the key is like to really get offers. I mean, there's 3 pieces. There's the hook, which is like the hook that grabs you, right? Like, what's the thing that grabs you? Then there's the story you tell behind that, and then there's the actual offer, what they're going to get. And each component of the offer, there's a hook, a story, and offer with each component of the offer. And anyway, I wish I had more time to share everything. But the thing I wanted to share with you guys today, because it's one of the most important things. Is like what's the hook of the story that you're sharing, right? And if you don't have one yet, you need to create that. So in the video I went through and I took, if you guys know Drew Manning, he's one of our 2 Comma Club winners, and he's an awesome dude. And he's got a program called Fit to Fat to Fit. And his story is he was a trainer for his whole life and like helped a lot of people get skinny, but he never actually knew what it was like. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna get fat, and then I'm gonna try to get fit again. And so he went and gained like, I don't know, 100 pounds, and told the whole world, this is what I'm doing. I'm gaining a bunch of weight. It's gonna be a huge thing, and I'm gonna get fat, and then I'm gonna lose it again. And like, because of this story, this hook of this story, he got tons of PR. He was on Jay Leno, all sorts of stuff. And now it's like whatever he sells, he's just like, hey, I'm Drew. I'm the Fit to Fat to Fit guy. I'm the guy who was a trainer who never knew what it was like to be fat. So I gained a whole bunch of weight, and then I lost it all again. And then anything he says after that, people will give him money. You wanna know why? Because the hook of the story is so good. Drew, if you're listening to this, like, there's a lot of critiques I could give you to help you make your offers better, but because the hooks, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's a good hook and a good story will make up for a lot of other stuff. Like, he's killing it. And I was like, man, imagine if like there's stuff. Anyway, someday I'm gonna work with him personally and just be like, this is how you ramp it up. But his hook and his story is so good that he's making millions of dollars now, right? And I was thinking about this like throughout time. Like, if you guys remember Robert Allen, like he has sold over $1 billion under the Robert Allen brand. And Robert Allen had a really good hook in his story. He told all these people, was like, you can take me anywhere in the world, throw me in any city without any contacts, any whatever, and within a month I will have purchased a house with no money down or whatever. He told people that, and no one believed him. So he actually did it, did this big PR stunt, went and flew somewhere, did the whole thing, and boom, that's, he became Robert Allen because of that, the hook in the story, right? I think other people, Natalie Hodson. Natalie spoke at Funnel Hacking Live. She's amazing. What's amazing about Natalie is the hook in her story. It's funny because there's people now who are trying to knock off her, one of her products is, her first 2 Comma Club product, took her 4 months to go from 0 to 2 Comma Club with a $37 ebook, and it was teaching women mothers who how to not pee your pants, called abs core pelvic floor, and she sold like 50 or 60,000 copies of this ebook. And it's funny because there's all these people now trying to knock her off, and they're all going to fail because they're copying the offer, but they're missing the hook and the story. So what's Natalie's hook and the story? Well, she was I think she was actually in a video with Drew, if I remember right. Anyway, it's a small world. Anyway, so she's filming a workout video, and in the video she pees her pants, and instead of hiding it, she decides like, this is a good, I mean, I don't know if she consciously did this, but she put it out there, and it's an amazing hook. Like, I'm a fitness trainer, I'm teaching people how to get in weight, lose weight, and I'm sitting there live on camera, and I pee my pants, and here's pictures of it, and it's so embarrassing. And so she tells that story, the hook, the story, people get excited, and then boom, 60,000 copies of her book later, right? The hook and the story were so good. And the better the hook and the story are, I mean, I'm not saying the offer can be worse, but like, that's like, the better the hook and the story is, like, you can sell up anything. It's funny, Drew is actually selling ketosis stuff now, which has nothing to do with his actual Fit to Fat to Fit story, but the story and the hook's so good, he tells the story, people are hooked, and then boom, he can sell whatever he wants at that point. And so for you, I want you thinking like, what's my story? What's the thing, right? Some of you guys may know, I launched my religion podcast this week, actually, or this week. And I went through the same process here. I'm like, hey, I could just make a podcast like, hey, I'm gonna teach you what my beliefs are. But nobody, like, the hook and the story were horrible, right? So it's like, what? I need a hook, and I need a story. Like, what is it? It's gotta be something that's gonna drag people in. The other thing about stories, people share stories. Right? Like, oh, this girl named Natalie. Oh, this guy named Drew. He was Fit to Fat. You know, like, they tell the story, right? And so I was like, I need a story. And I didn't consciously do this, but it's what come out of it is like, if I'm gonna do, like, I needed something really, really cool. So the hook for my podcast was basically, you know, I'm Mormon. I believe in the Book of Mormon. But I look at my house, there's all these Book of Mormons laying on the ground everywhere that I never read. They just sit there. And I realized that this thing that's so important to me, I'm not treating it. I'm treating it lightly. And so I was like, I need to make this real to me. So I went online, and I found on eBay a copy of one of the original 5,000 Books of Mormon. I spent a small fortune on it, and now I'm reading it, and I'm sharing my journey because I want to make it special to you again, right? So that was the hook, and now I got all these people that are sharing my podcast. Like, this dude Russell, he like all my Mormon friends. It's kind of fun watching it, though. They're sharing it, and like, my friend Russell, he has, you know, he's a Mormon too, so they're sharing it like in seminaries and elders quorum, and it's kind of fun how fast it's growing just inside the church, because everyone's like, because they feel that same way. Like, man, I feel the same way. You know, I'm not, you know, if you're Mormon and you're like, I don't treat the Book of Mormon the way I should, and there's this guy who felt the same way, and so now he spent a fortune, bought an original one, and now he's like taking us on the journey. All of a sudden people are like, oh, I want to be part of that story, right? I'm sure that there's a lot of people who, like, I think about Drew. Again, I don't know Drew's whole story. I don't know him super well. You know, one of the biggest things in the weight loss space I see when people come and they try to like teach people how to lose weight, but if they've never been fat in the past, it's hard for them to get a lot of traction. A lot of times they can do personal training, but it's hard for them to blow up like as a celebrity, as a guru, as an expert, whatever you want to call it, because the masses are like, well, they don't know what it's like to be fat. And so he told that story. Now everyone's like, dude, this trainer who he wanted to prove to us that he could do it, so he gained all this weight, and now it's a story we're sharing. It's a good hook. You know what I mean? And the same thing happened with this. Is like, it was a story, so it started getting spread. And then this week I was like I need another good hook and a good story. What can I do to get people listening to this now that it's live and it's launched? And so some of you guys saw yesterday, I actually there's this guy in the Mormon church. His name's Parley P. Pratt, who lived back in the 1800s, and he someone gave him a copy of one of the original Book of Mormons, because that's all they had back when they first came out, and he started reading it, and he read the entire thing in a day. He said that eating and sleeping became a nuisance to him. And anyway, and I found out yesterday was actually his birthday, so I was like, I'm gonna do Parley P. Pratt Day. So I took the day off of work, and I went and I read the entire, I tried, it's 18 hours. I almost got halfway done. It's a big book. But I read the whole thing, and I did Facebook Live, I talked about it, and this is something I put $0 in advertising behind. I just posted on my personal wall, said, hey, I'm doing this crazy thing. And from that, I think this morning there was like 3.9 thousand views, over like 1,500 comments and likes and share, like interactions with it, and hundreds and hundreds of people subscribed to the podcast from it. And so it was like this thing, like I made a story, an event, a thing out of it, and that's what got people excited. It was a hook in the story. And now people subscribe to the podcast. And if you're interested in my beliefs and my faith, if you go to bookofmormonchallenge.com, you can subscribe and listen in. But that's kind of what it is, right? You're creating a story, you're creating a hook and a story that gets people interested. Today I'm actually filming a product. And what's the product? Well, I spoke at the 10X event. At the 10X event, I made in 90 minutes I did $3 million. So that's a hook in a story. So I'm recording a 5-hour training today, teaching how I did it, because that's something that will sell like crazy. People will put out, like, do you hear that guy Russell? He made 3 million 90 minutes. So you should buy the course to figure out how you did it. Like that's the key, is like that story. Like, I peed my pants. I went fat to fit to fat. I read the entire Book of Mormon in a day. I went and bought an original Book of Mormon. I made $3 million in 90 minutes. Like what's the story? You got to find those stories. They're out there. And sometimes they don't have to be super grandiose at first, but like, you need to have a story behind things, right? One of my bonuses inside of the Funnel Hacks program now is Traffic Secrets. And Traffic Secrets, I could be like, hey, there's this course called Traffic Secrets, and you get it today when you sign up now, right? But like, what's this hook behind it? Well, Traffic Secrets was a site owned by John Reese. John Reese did the first $1 million day, and the product he sold was Traffic Secrets. And the course was so good, I ended up buying the brand from him. I am spending almost $1 million to buy it from him, and I have all the wire transfers. And so when I now talk about that part of my bonus, I tell the hook of the story and the offer of that. Like the hook, I tell the story, and then it's like, now that bonus becomes super valuable because the hook and the story makes it way better. And so think about for your business, like, do you have a hook and a story? If not, that might be why you're struggling. And so if not, like, figure one out. Like, you got to figure out a thing. Like, what's the thing? Call your shot. Do something big. Look at all the offers that are out there. Look at people that are having success. What are their commonalities? Look, like, what's the hook? What's the offer? What's the story that they're telling you? Like, what's the thing? And figure out, like, how to create a story. Like, for me with the Book of Mormon, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna read the whole thing in a day, like, because that's a story. Like, okay, go and do something like that. What could you do for yourself? You know, maybe it's, and this is what comes back, we talk about sometimes, like, getting results first, right? Like, find somebody, let's say you're a weight loss trainer, find somebody and get the result on them, or do it on yourself, or, you know, like, become a lab experiment. Like, the story is the key. Okay, now, again, I didn't know Drew prior to his fit to fat to fit thing, but my guess, if I was to say, is if he was to go out there and he was to try to sell his weight loss program, I bet he did well as a personal trainer, but I bet he struggled as, like, selling the thing. But now that he's got this story, like, he doesn't even have to be that good at selling, because the story, the hook in the story is so good. Okay, so there's your assignment. All my friends, all my people, is to figure out for you, whatever you're launching, if it's a podcast, an offer, an ad, a product, a service, whatever, what's the story? That's what you got to figure out, because the story will drive everything else behind you. What's the hook and the story? And from there it leads to your offer. Anyway, I gotta bounce. Oh, I gotta start my training. All right, see you guys later. Bye. Want more marketing secrets? If so, then go get your copies of my 2 best-selling books. Book number 1 is called Expert Secrets, and you can get a free copy at expertsecrets.com. And book number 2 is called .com Secrets, and you can get your free copy at .comsecrets.com. Inside these 2 books, you'll find my top 35 secrets that we've used to become the fastest growing non-VC-backed SaaS startup company in the world.